from the book of Leviticus, and a title itself is about first fruit. You might want to ask me why I decided to speak on first fruit. I decided to speak on first fruit today because I know people are confused about how to go about the first fruit. I was also confused. I have used my intellect to explain it out to some people that are confused. Then the Lord opened my eyes, and I said, today I will speak about it. You can imagine where the Lord opened my eyes. It happens to be in Okija. Praise the Lord. You know, we suffer a lot of things because we don't have understanding. We lack understanding. We are ignorant. But God, in His mercy, has provided principles to help us. Some of these principles, some churches have twisted, and they are reaping the children of God, out. If you are like me, you'll be a little bit gullible, because me, once you say is God, I am falling head over heels on it. But this issue of first fruit, my attention was first drawn. Every time they will say first fruit, first fruit, first fruit, I didn't know how to go. The tithes is self-explanatory, and I didn't know where to grab it from the Bible until my driver one day told me that he was broke and he was second of the month. I said, what? You are broke? How can you be broke? You just picked up your salary. He said he paid his first fruit. I said, and you gave everything? He said yes, that is how they told them that they will bring everything. I said, okay, how are you going to survive the month if you gave everything? You will go begging like you are begging now. Is that how your pastor explained it to you? He said that's how they were told. I said, okay. We happen to have a lawyer that is a pastor in their church. And I went to him, I said, is that how you people do in your church? You tell them to bring all their salary in a month for first fruit. Is God so wicked that they will give that and they won't have any money to survive for the month? He said, but that's, I started explaining to him what first, in my own way, before I found this. That was a pastor. I don't know if he's still a pastor. I don't know where he is right now. That is the reason why when I saw this in the Bible, everything in me popped. It's only one word. Let's read that Bible text again. Leviticus 23, 9 to 10. Verse 9 to 10, just like we read earlier. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when you come into the land which I give unto you, and you shall reap the harvest thereof, then you shall bring a sheaf of the first fruit of your harvest unto the priest. I started looking for sheaf. What is the meaning of this? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it well. Sheaf. You know, it's supposed to be a bundle, like a bundle. You know, during the days of the Israelites, they're basically farmers, and I think they dealt in maize and all those, plants, and they bond them, in bundles. You'll be able to carry them on their, is it camel or donkeys or whatever, for transportation. And the Lord says they should bring one of that, one sheaf, one bundle. They should bring one of that and offer it into the temple, and the priest will wave it. It's also like a handful or a portion. I was in the village when this came to me, and I looked at my mother's ube tree, and I started analyzing. I said, okay, this is the ube tree. It has fruits, it's full. Does it mean, if we were to follow what has been told to people, that she will bring down everything on this tree and take it to the pastor or to the house of God. Only me, I was like biting myself. Then this word. I didn't finish my analysis until I got to Lagos. Let's look at Proverbs 3, 9 to 10. It says, give honor to the Lord with your wealth and with the first fruits of all your increase. So your storehouses will be full of grain and your vessels overflowing with new wine. There are so many portions of the Bible that talked about this first fruit. I went as far as checking the New Testaments to find out if there's anything about the first fruit there. And of course, it was there. But let's read again Genesis 4, 1 to 8. Genesis chapter 4, verse 1 to 8. As I go, please pay us attention so that we'll pick the points necessary here. Now Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bore Cain, and said, I have acquired a man from the Lord. Then she bore again, this time his brother Abel. Now Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time it came to pass that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to the Lord. Abel also brought of the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And the Lord respected Abel and his offering, but he did not respect Cain and his offering. And Cain was very angry, and his countenance fell. So the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? And why has your countenance fallen? If you do well, will you not be accepted? And if you do not do well, sin lies at the door, and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. Verse 8. Now Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and killed him. This incident happened long before the Lord gave that instruction. Very long. Remember that Cain and Abel were the beginning. It happened in the time of Moses. How did Cain know that he had to offer his first fruit to God? Not just offering his first fruit, he offered it fat. This God is awesome. God knows his own, and he looks at the hearts of his own. You cannot be going to God and you use left hand to throw your offering to God. No respect. You cannot harvest, and out of 1 million you bring 10,000 to the Lord. Disrespect. This principle was laid down not because God needs that. He is doing and placing the principle for you, because there's a blessing that comes with first fruit. Your first fruit is a covering for the remaining of the years that you're going to plant and harvest. But we do not understand this. God was angry with Cain, not because he didn't offer a very big offering. He was angry with him because he had a covetous spirit. And it is that jealous and covetous spirit that made him kill Abel. You know, grab my own. Akagom, the grandfather of super glue. You hold against yourself. That is what God is trying to say. In simple language, if you don't release, you will not receive. And God was trying to teach the children of Israel then, bring your first fruits, because I have made a principle. I have finished creation. That principle will protect you, that you will not be hungry. It will shield you. I'm going to read out the blessings that comes with first fruits. You know, some people will say that God did not, mandate it. Or they will say it's in the Old Testament. It's tithe not in the Old Testament. Did the New Testament cancel the rules
the Old Testament
or the happenings in the Old Testament?
It is.
Because some people do not want to do the right thing, they will look for excuses, and that's why some of us are in stagnation. You will tell yourself, I've done everything. I am not covetous. I don't commit sin. I give to my neighbor. Why, God, am I still in this situation? I said it here some time ago that some of us have special areas of this principle that works with our spirit. For some is offering. If they don't give offering, their cup and pot will run dry. Even if they do every other thing, you see that offering, that is what is attached to their own spirit. I know my own, mine is tithing. As long as I tithe, I will never be hungry. Even when they are saying it's not there, one will be hidden somewhere for me to eat. Yours might be first fruit, you don't know. And you are in stagnation, asking why. It is better for you to go through the principles and raise your hand up that I have fulfilled all righteousness. Let God be God in my life. Are you in stagnation today? Check yourself. Check around and ask yourself, what will the Lord have me do? Which of these principles have I failed in? Have I failed to give my neighbor water? Have I failed to clothe the ones on the streets? You have to ask yourself questions. You have to ask yourself questions and communicate with God, because He will answer you. Some of us think that God is far away. He's not far away. And if you communicate, you take time out and communicate with God, He will instruct you on what to do. You'll be shocked. One day, it's not even one day, I think it's last Sunday or 2 Sundays ago, I was sitting there. I didn't have enough money, and I have a standard of offering that I give. And I was saying in my spirit that I can't do this one today. If I do it, I won't have money to do this. I won't have money to do this. I was just biting myself. And I had give everything. Like the money, I touched it. I wanted to reduce it by 1. I had all of it. I respected my old age. Counted it and I put it there. That is how God speaks. Communication is vital, and that's what He's asking us. He wants to be your friend. As He's your creator, as He's your father, He wants to be your friend so that you can talk about this thing, so that He can ease your pain. He can remove you from uncomfortability. He can take you out of stagnation, so that He will do what no man can do for you. But if you are not talking to Him, it's like you are keeping malice. You are telling Him, God, stay in your place, let me stay in my place. And the thing that is burning you under will continue to burn. At this stage, some people run away from the church only to run back. They will say, I've been in this church for donkey years and nothing is happening. There's no fire in that church. Meanwhile, it's you. Praise the Lord. Like I said, God sees our heart and sees our offerings. If you give of the first fruit of your increase and that of your substance with a willing heart, not grudgingly. Not grudgingly. You don't have to be dragged to give it. That is why God gave us will. Check that word. Willingly.
Willy?
It is not by force. The tithe, God said, is my own. It's a must. It is my own. If you take it, you are a thief. But this one is by your will. If you like, do it. If you like, don't do it. What is it for? For your own good. Even as the tithe is also for your own good. Because if you steal that tithe then you get ready for famine. You get ready for attacks from left, from right. You get ready for poverty in the highest order. Get ready for cankerworms and caterpillars to eat through your pockets and put holes in them. Get ready for spiritual rats that will bite anything just to make sure that it destroys. Do you know how spiritual rats behave? They behave like the rat we call Nkapo. That one that has mouths like this. Very destructive. He smells and he will eat your wrapper. Tell me what rat is looking for in wrapper. Is wrapper food? To tell you how satanic they are. He will go to the pipe and eat pipe. He will eat your precious books, eat your Bible. That's how spiritual rats operate. They will puncture holes everywhere. Pastor will be seeing, he won't see vision to that side. These are the principles that God has put in place to save us. We are not supposed to be poor. You don't have to be rich like Dangote, but you should be able to sustain yourself without begging or soaring up and down because you don't have. All these principles are there. Satan closes our eyes not to see, to read the Bible and jump and pass. And you will think, if I take it, Pastor T will use it to buy shoe and tie. You are wasting your time. Pastor T pays first fruit. If you dash him money, he pays tithes. If you pay tithes, he will pay tithe on top of the tithes. So don't joy yourself. It is for your own good. Yes, the Bible says that you bring it into the house of God. If you bring it inside of the house of God, they use it inside the house of God. Your blessing keeps flowing. If it's food, the amount of people that eat it and their teeth is snacking together on spoon and pan, there's the amount of blessings you will continue to receive. It just be rolling over. It's a round thing. It goes round. And God did it on purpose. It never stops if you maintain the rule. It is your heart that matters in this offering. If you can do it diligently, it might be difficult because we count. Right. Let me make you laugh. We all struggle, but mind where your struggling is taking you to. There's a particular instruction that was given unto me, and I've been trying to practice it. Today again, I said, God, what will remain now? I was fighting myself again. And the Lord said, the last one you did you die? Did you go through it? And I made up my mind and did the right thing. Because I know. I don't have any pillar, I don't have any shield apart from God. And the smallest of things, the littlest of things, God does it. You know that small thing that your husband will do for you, your wife will do. Those little things that you think are insignificant, God does it. Because He's your shield, He's your buckler, He's your rock, He's your pillar. He will not allow cankerworms to eat into you. If you have 1,000 naira, it is multiplied. You'll be spending it and spending it. You'll be wondering, is it not just this 1,000 naira? Somebody made a statement and it was going around the internet that, can you make soup with 500 naira? And I said, yes. Yes. It depends on how you manage it. 500 naira and it will be very sweet. I was arguing with my cousin and I started telling him what you can make with 500 naira. Food that you can serve to somebody else.
Yeah.
You need the grace. If you don't have that grace that God has given, they will give you 10,000 naira, you will not be able to cook good food that anybody can eat. First fruit. Let's not forget that love is the first fruit of the Holy Spirit. So first fruit is important to God. God is love Himself. And if love is the first fruit of the Holy Spirit, what are we talking about? We should run with this. It is very, if it's not important, God will not be teaching the children of Israel how to do it. He was very particular. He outlined how they would do it. He kept doing it. Now, let's ask the questions that they are asking in Nigeria especially. I'm not trying to condemn pastors, but you see, it's good to do what is right so that you don't lead people to condemnation. You see, as I'm holding this microphone, if I'm contaminated and I'm talking to you from this microphone, I'll be releasing demons to you.
Yeah.
If I open my mouth to pray, as long as you are hearing my voice and I'm going out, I'm releasing demons that you don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening in our nation today. Some people are pastors because they don't have jobs. Some are graduated babalawos. Some are also 419 that decided to give parts of their name. They add it. Sometimes I fight and I try to explain a lot of things, but sometimes I don't bother. Even I don't affix pastor near my name because it's an embarrassment when you're in the midst of people and the things they talk about. One of them is this question: should I give my whole first month's salary to my church as first fruit? Millions are having this problem, millions, and there's nobody to tell them the truth. My mission here today is to tell you the truth. You see, it is your choice how you want to deal with the first fruit, because it's between you and your maker. If you decide to give your maker peanuts, you will get peanuts. If I ask my son to bring me food from the pot and he gives me a portion that even him will not even eat, what do you think will happen? He will not go to that pot again, and I will make sure I serve him that small portion that he gave me, because one, I am the provider of that food, the cook and the manager of the pot and the kitchen. God owns our life. It is because of him that we are standing. Not because we are sinless, not because we are righteous. It is his grace and the love that he has for us. All these rules that we're seeing is to make our lives comfortable on this earth. Why should you, as a born again, a redeemed child of God, be lacking? Why should you lack? The principles are simple. The children of the world, they follow these principles and they make money, because these principles are without repentance. God has finished creation. He has put them in place. It's left for you to tag him. If you don't tag him, don't blame Pastor T. And don't go to him to ask him for money. There's no money. Because you have been given the power to make wealth. You have given the principle to tap into the kingdom resources. When you pay your first fruit, you have opened a bank account that will last you for a long, even your lifetime, as you continue, and you keep drawing and drawing in an unending bank account that can never close. But we simply don't understand. We count our pennies. Now, like I said, did the Lord command that Christians should surrender their whole January salary? Can somebody answer?
I don't know.
Are you afraid to answer? No. God didn't confirm anything. He didn't command it though. He said first fruits. Your first fruit can be your 1 week salary. Your first fruit can be your 1 month salary if you wish. But don't go begging because you gave 1 month salary. Because people will look at you and say, "This," and he says he's, born again. Why is he begging? We don't want to be embarrassing God, do we? It could be the increase on your salary. Whenever you are, and that's what I understood it to be all those years before my eyes tore. But the most important thing here is that it is your choice. God did not command you to give 1 month salary. And if you follow the portion that we read, the text, It's a handful, or a portion. When I say a portion, a good portion of your increase or of your harvest. And what will that do for you? In Leviticus 23:10, that particular text, it says, when you come into the land, when you get the job, when you get the contract, when you get the business, that is the land. If you are a farmer, when you get into the land that you want to farm on, the land which I give you and you reap its harvest, something comes out of the contract. Something comes out of the land that you planted, that is, you harvest. Something comes out of the business. Then you shall bring the sheaf of the first fruit of your harvest to the priest. Now, giving it to the priest doesn't mean that you are going to dash him. You are not dashing him. You are bringing it to the altar of God. Even the priest that you are giving is also responsible. If he doesn't manage it well, oh, the hammer of God will come down. So don't think that the priest himself is exonerated. What happened to the children of Eli? They were misbehaving, mismanaging things that they were bringing to them. How did they end? We must learn to open our eyes and read. Go back, read, and implement it in your life. Proverbs 3:9 says, honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thy increase. So shall thy barns be filled with what? Plenty. And thy presses shall burst out with new wine. These are promises. If you honor God when you bring him the first fruits of your increase, by doing that, the increase of your substance, you are demonstrating that God is number one in your life. You see, God is so jealous of us. And that's why Satan is mad. He loves us so much that he wants us to involve him in everything that we do. God doesn't want to see you in pain. God doesn't want to see you crying. That's why he collects the tears that drop from our eyes. You cannot fathom the kind of love God has for us. But we used to fall his hand, like we speak in local language. We fall God's hand. Can you imagine? Okay, let's assume a guy that is toasting a babe. He's so much in love with the baby. He's chasing her, and not getting results. What do you think? He will be disappointed now. After a while, you say, wait himself. Now gold. I don't they chase and you know. Wait till she even carry herself. Wait till they make her head they big. With God, he is patient. He will wait. He will keep waiting. Keep waiting. And I'm sure God prays too. He will say, this is my child. When will you see reason? When will you turn to me? When will you come back to me so that you can receive from my throne, the throne of grace? That is what we are lacking of. Those of you that want this pressure to hammer you, this is what you're missing. You need the love of God. You need to stop looking at man. Man cannot help you. The man that can help you is the man that God has ordered his steps towards you. The man that God has directed. Go help my daughter. Some of these things have happened physically in my life. Because me, I am very stubborn, and God needs to knock my head sometimes to put them inside. I've had a situation where, because I believe in my word, because my word is my honor, if I say I'm going to do something, I try as much as possible to do it. I don't make promises that I can't keep. I entered a situation where I needed to make a payment. It was instrumental, and the man happens to be an old man, and I promised that by this time of the month I will make this payment. End of the month, no hope, nothing. I held my head. I couldn't tell anybody because I'm one. I don't really have friends that I can open my heart to like that. The only friend I have is Jesus. I will cry and table it and go to sleep. So, as I was cracking my head, asking myself, how am I going to face this man? Somebody just came with an envelope with the exact amount that I needed to pay this old man. It is not by my power. And the person that sent it is somebody I never expected to do it. Why he did it, I don't know. I wish I could ask him. One day I just told him something. I said, you don't know what you have done in my life. I gave him something and he was wondering. I said, you don't understand. Because I remember that day I saw the hand of God walk through that man. Are you looking at man to help you? He has put down the principles that will make you not to lack. The principles that will take you out of depression and stagnation. They are here in the Bible. That is why I'm bringing you this good news today. If you have not been practicing it, start it. Ask God for mercy. Because we are entering what I call dangerous zone. You're not sure of tomorrow. In fact, it is this minute that we have talking that is our own. The next minute is not ours. Somebody went out to buy bread. Trailer knocked down. In my village, when I went about 2 weeks ago or 2 weekends ago, they were just dropping dead. Some ate food, a whole family of 5. They ate rice, wiped off. Another man came, bought sweets and biscuits for children around in front of my house and went to his house. Gone. In each family around that my zone, they were dropping 2, 2, 1, 1. Count, almost 20. 9 days I spent there. You can imagine, 9 days of 20 deaths. Did they know they were going to die? They didn't know did they bargain for death? No, they did not. All these principles keeps us away from untimely death. Some people die before their time, not because God has said this is their time. Or maybe like Job, when they table their matter, God will say, okay, let's check. They will check this, check that, check that. And he will say, I tried my best. Satan will take the best. Please, we are really in dangerous times. You don't know what will happen. A lady was giving testimony. She said she didn't pay attention to the weather situation, the weather news that's in America.